ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Saeed. Welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. We do want to thank you for joining us, viewers. Remember, Trinidad and Tobago, we are live from Monday to Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. on Synergy Network with a rerun the next day from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. Remember that, viewers. So as we start off our news tonight, Trinidad and Tobago, I just want to remind you, Real Talk Financing is offering you 7% on a fixed deposit. Trinidad and Tobago, we are the only financial institution in this country that is offering you that amount of cash on a fixed deposit. Call a financial institution, ask them what is their rate. If they are not matching size rate, well then take your money, bring it down to Real Talk Financing, open a fixed deposit, and you can get 7% on your fixed deposit. So Trinidad and Tobago, that is the highest interest rate that has ever been paid in Trinidad and Tobago by any financial institution. And it's only we at Real Talk Financing, we make it happen for you. Also, Real Talk Financing, our loan department, if you're looking for a loan, you can contact our office, Trinidad and Tobago, work with your documents, come down, set up an appointment, and you're inside. So viewers, we are waiting for a short commercial break, but stay locked on. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concerns. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So viewers, as we start with it tonight, Minister of Works and Infrastructure Gillian John stated that there are no issues with the plumbing on board the MV Blue Wave Harmony. Speaking at today's sitting of the House of Representatives, the minister was asked about reports of a disruption of cargo transport service between Trinidad and Tobago as a result of plumbing issue on board the vessel. When pressed on the issue, John maintained her answer. Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this.
There was no disruption of the cargo services from the Blue Wave Harmony, if the member is referring to Friday the 15th of May.
Could the Honourable Minister indicate whether there are any plumbing issues at this time on the MV Blue Wave Harmony?
Minister?
Not to the best of my knowledge, no.
So Trinidad and Tobago, now a few days ago, they had, when there's a party on a savannah, or a get-together on a savannah, there are removable toilets. Well, a few days ago, on the Blue Wave Harmony, that goes between Trinidad and Tobago, delivering goods, I saw where truckmen, as they say, had to use
Honourable
those
Minister indicate.
disposable washrooms, as they say, the toilets. They had to use it. And there was a video circulating about that, or with that. Now, the minister is saying there is no problem with the plumbing on board. So I hope Trinidad and Tobago that issue has been sorted out and there is actually no problem, and the toilet actually works. I just want to say that. If we have any issues with it, hopefully Monday, I'm going to show the video with the removable toilets. But we will leave it until. So another update for you. Diplomatic relations or relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and Turkey has been further strengthened with the establishment of a political consultation mechanism between two nations. On Thursday, Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Sean Sobers and Turkey's ambassador designated to Trinidad and Tobago signed a memorandum of understanding aimed at formalizing regular and structured dialogue between the two foreign ministers of both countries. The agreement is expected to enhance diplomatic engagement and foster deeper cooperation in areas of mutual interest between two states. So viewers, the minister could have given us a little more insight as to what exactly they are going to do, or what exactly are we going to be sharing, what type of business, whether it's finance, whether it's construction, whether it's manufacturing. Sean, come on, man, as a minister, could I give Trinidad and Tobago a little more talks on what is taking place? You sent a memorandum of understanding. Yes, we understand the memorandum of understanding, but what exactly is the memorandum of understanding based on? So that, and I've been saying this, Trinidad and Tobago, I have been saying this. We have been meeting and traveling and delegations coming and all sorts of understanding being signed. But what about a little bit of detailed into the public domain? Do we get that? No, we're not getting it. We're not getting it. Now, hence the reason why the citizen of Trinidad and Tobago is saying that what actually is the ministers doing in Trinidad and Tobago? What exactly is the UNC doing? Because it's one set of travels, one set of dialogues, one set of meetings, one set of documents signing, and absolutely we are seeing nothing. So the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago now, they are becoming more and more curious as to what is this government really doing. Because we are not getting anything substantial. I'm telling them this from now. I'm going to tell you something. PNF went there for 9 years and were voted out on the 10th year. So if this administration wants to be there for 4 years and voted out on the 5th year, they could continue doing what they're doing. Now, like some PNF ministers, They say some of them have had contracts, some of their friends and family had contracts, and they make millions in kickbacks. You know, this is talk of the town. You understand? But at the end of the day, you leave Trinidad with a bad name, because right around the world, people are going to be looking at you as a smart man, as a con man, as a man who did nothing for the citizen. You think it easy? No, it ain't easy. So switching gears a bit, viewers, into another update. Students with Excel, Beetham Estate Government Primary School will return to a fully equipped computer lab this week after the United States Embassy donated 10 computers, furniture, and supply to the school on May 19th. The US $25,000 donation funded through the U.S. Southern Command, Southcom, Humanitarian Assistance Program restored a resource that teachers and students at the school had long gone without: access to working computers. A digital skill is increasingly the dividing line between young people who can compete for jobs and opportunities on those who cannot. So Trinidad and Tobago, we want to thank the U.S. Embassy, we want to thank Southcom for the $25,000 donation towards computers, furniture, and supply to the school. So viewers, into our current affairs segment now. Commissioner of Police Alessandro Rivero have stated that report indicating that someone confused in connection with the search for missing toddler Angelo Tobas Plaza did not come from TTPS. Listen to this, viewers.
Confession in what, ma'am?
Angelo Tobias, please.
Ma'am, that matter is under investigation. At this point in time, it would not be prudent for the police to be giving any information. That report you got of a confession did not come from the police.
So Trinidad and Tobago, the commissioner also provided an update to the national community saying that the search has shifted to the coastline of Tobago.
Several persons were detained and interviewed. The search has shifted to the coastline of Tobago, and support from multiple stakeholders and teams are currently being undertaken as we engage to the recovery of the body and to bring closure to the public and to the family.
Also, viewers, he further noted that a crucial piece of closed circuit footage was recovered by police.
But for some strange reason, that crucial piece of evidence ended up on social media. I want to take this opportunity to advise the public that when you share evidence with the police and you later turn around and share that evidence with persons on social media whose goal is not journalism but rather sensationalism, you effectively compromise the police investigation.
So Trinidad and Tobago, the couple also indicated that the release of the footage led to police receiving a myriad of calls which led them on what he termed a wild goose chase. So I want to understand Rivero. If someone has footage, they must only share it with TTPS alone. Alone with TTPS. So I'm asking myself now, if that footage is not shown in the public domain and only TTPS have it, they can alter the footage. You see, going into the 21st century and beyond, we are living in a digital age presently. A digital age where social media is the key to getting answers of some of the things that we would require. Now, when that footage hits social media, all the police have to do, yes, you have a footage. But police officers in TTPS are trained in different departments to analyze and scrutinize footage. I want all of you to understand that. I want all of you to understand that. When an accident takes place on the highway, the only person who can say who's right or wrong is the police, based on evidence that they got. From who? From citizens. So they cannot say anything otherwise. So I am trying to understand what actually the Commissioner of Police is saying. What actually is he trying to say? You see, when they say something, when they see something and they say something, to me, like it starts to have a two-tongue in it. If you see something, say something to the police alone. But what about if the police decide to alter that statement? What about if the police decided to analyze the video and say, hey, the man is not green, the man is blue, and everybody's seen the man green on the footage? What about that? But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, we'll deal with that on another date. Minister of Homeland Security, Roger Alexander, have stated that it would take a miracle to recover 2-year-old Angela Tobas Plaza in Tobago. Listen to Roger.
At this time, it would be somewhat nearly impossible to find the child. And if he is found, it might be more considered a miracle. Because at the first sighting, or what seemed to be a sighting from the fire service, I think it was on Tuesday of last week. It was I think it was in the area where there was a lot of this seaweed lily thing, and by the time they went and make a turn and come back as to try to retrieve the body, it was gone.
However, Trinidad and Tobago, he hinted that closure in the matter is near. Wow.
At least, the police would have made a very valuable contribution as it relates to the investigation in this matter, because everybody wanted closure, and it's reached a stage where they are beginning to see closure in this matter. It's very heart-wrenching, if you want to use those words, to see the child come to this. But then there are lessons yet to be learned.
He then praised the work of law enforcement in this matter. Also, Alexander also offered condolences in the matter. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, hold on. Alexander said, a situation like this involving the country's children must never happen again. Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this, as he praised law enforcement.
But let me also say this, excellent work done by the ACP for Tobago, Mr. Richie Singh and his team, Tobago investigators, and also it's a coordinated effect. It's what they call a coordinated effort.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, at this time, I must remind you of the 7% with Real Talk Financing, 7% on a fixed deposit. You're not getting that nowhere else, Trinidad and Tobago. I want to encourage you, those of you who have your cash put down, you want to make some extra money, let me tell you something. This is the perfect opportunity to make that extra cash. Now, you have your money sit down in the bank, and you're wondering, how do I make money on this money? I have this 200,000-300,000 put on for my grandchild there, or my son, but it's just there. I get in 2%, I get in 1%. Times are getting harder. So how do I multiply this money? Trinidad and Tobago, on a fixed deposit with Real Talk Financing, you're getting 7%. 7%, viewers. The highest interest rate that is being paid in Trinidad and Tobago in any financial institution is at Real Talk Financing. Trust me, you cannot get it better than this. So if you want to miss out this opportunity, it's not a problem. You could go ahead and miss the opportunity. But when the offers pass and you realize you can make some extra money while you have this set of money doing nothing there, you will be missing out on the opportunity to get 7% on your hard-earned cash that you have already worked for. So Trinidad and Tobago, we're going back to our news tonight. Big story hitting in our country. Commissioner of Police Alistair Grovero has confirmed the charges will soon be laid against Saieed Ali over the death of her boyfriend, Joshua Samaru, who was shot after a car chase with police. Mr. Samaru was shot on January 20th, 2026 at the corner of College Road and Deoki Singh Street in St. Augustine. Security camera footage of the incidents showed him with his hands up, surrendering to police before he was shot. Details regarding the police investigation was shared by the cop. So Trinidad and Tobago, he said, the police have received directive from the Director of Public Prosecutor, Roger Gasper, SC. Listen to this.
On the 25th of March, 2026, I confirmed through the media to the public that the investigation was at an advanced stage and we were awaiting a final forensic report from the FSC before submission to the Director of Public Prosecutions. On the 19th of May, the day before yesterday, investigators collected the completed forensic reports and secured an audience with the DPP on the 20th of May, which was yesterday. My investigators met with and consulted with the DPP.
So Trinidad and Tobago, today, I want to let you understand something. Because everybody, I've been following the news today, and everybody seems to be blaming the Commissioner of Police. I want you all to understand something. After all the files were gathered, all the evidence, the video footage, everything went to the DPP. And I want you all to understand this. We cannot blame the Commissioner of Police. I want to let you understand this really. We cannot blame him. He, Trinidad and Tobago, Alistair Grovero, the Commissioner of Police for Trinidad and Tobago, is taking an order from the Director of Public Prosecution. Someone who's more senior to him. I want to let you understand that. So whatever the DPP says, the Commissioner has to go along with it, and then and only then he can release a statement to the media in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, Grovero indicated that the DPP had returned the file to TTPS. Now listen to this.
Investigators were directed to proceed with a series of criminal charges arising out of the events which unfolded on that fateful day. At this time, however, it is important to note that no one is yet in custody or charged, and thus I cannot give you any further information as to the amount of charges or the nature of the charges until that status quo is resolved.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, again, I want to let you understand something. We cannot blame the Commissioner. He is taking orders from someone more senior to him. The Commissioner further added that he was instructed, or he has instructed investigators to proceed with their investigations. Listen to this now.
At this time, investigators have been directed accordingly to resolve that status quo. and I am currently awaiting feedback before I can update you further. Thus, I will not be expounding on this statement until I obtain an update from them. I cannot comment any further at this point.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to show a video here from Crime Watch with the shooting. We have the video, director? All right, he just put it on screen there. Now, I really want to ask the Commissioner of Police, not the Commissioner, the DPP. Did you really do justice? Look at this video carefully, Trinidad and Tobago. Carefully look at it. Vehicle crash, police jump out, hands in the air, and officers start shooting. So I am asking myself, did the DPP really do justice? Look at it, look at it. Vehicle hit the corner, police jump out, shots start firing with the man hand in the air. So I want to ask myself now, was that a willful and intense killing? I don't know, I'm asking myself, I'm asking myself this. The man, 2 hands up in the air. The police officers seen it. But yet, a man was shot to death. Look at that. 2 hands in the air. Multiple bullets. Multiple bullets. I am analyzing from what I am seeing. Now, the Commissioner of Police really can't say anything, because he has already received his directive from a senior. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program as usual, and showers of praises to you and your program for highlighting all of these things. And today, this is the talk throughout the country wherever you go, and the citizens are outraged based on the outcome and the decision by the DPP. So, as Roger Alexander said, it will take a miracle to find the baby that went missing. We don't know what happened with the baby, but I hope, this case comes to a close and people will face the consequences for that. So, Roger Alexander and Gavero also need a miracle to fix the head, because to date, not one of these persons has presented to the citizens of this country any evidence with substance, from radar to boat with 6 barrels and so on. So the citizens are outraged and they're angry because of the past history. Now, Mr. Said, I want to ask you something. If one of your staff sign a loan, give out a loan for $1 million, $1 million plenty, they have to come to you. You have to endorse this and your board have to endorse that. The Commissioner of Police ought to know what is happening. The evidence, I'm certain he and his lawyers would have gone through that and say, okay, this is the evidence. You can't tell me a Commissioner of Police and you don't know what is happening. This is a serious thing. The world know about this,
Yes.
The world and the citizens of this country outrage, And you can't tell me a Commissioner of Police and you don't know what's happening. The career filed by the DPP and you don't know, and Roger Alexander don't know. You all have lawyers in the police service to review this. You all have lawyers to review this in the police service. You can't tell me that go on there without you having knowledge of it. Gavero? Man, come on. I tell you, there are international bodies that's going to take up this case. And Mr. Said, I know you will do what you have to do. You presenting this to the citizens, and international bodies will take up this matter, and there will be justice for these people. Mr. Said, you keep up the great work you are doing. God bless you for your program, and God bless your staff also.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, we are at a stage because of the result that was given to the public today. I ask myself, after this video, has been shown on social media, and the world looked at this. I wonder if we, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, is going to trust the police after this incident. Now, Guerrero didn't say whether officers will be charged with murder or with manslaughter. He didn't say anything as such. But what he was instructed to do is to charge the crippled girlfriend with the murder of the boyfriend. Sad, eh? Sad, eh? So today in Trinidad and Tobago, we have to ask ourselves now, after viewing that footage where a man was gunned down by TTPS officers with both hands in the air, we have to ask ourselves today now, what kind of police officers are in the police force? Caller, good night.
Hi, good night, Saeed. But just imagine this. You're seeing everything in black and white. Eh? You're seeing where the police and them come out and start to shoot. Eh? They're shooting like they're mad. The man up in the air in the car and they're still shooting. So where the young woman will get strength after all this shooting, would you think the young lady could have strength to shoot back at them? It's alleged rape, they say so. I mean, it's ridiculous. You're seeing it. Even the blind child could see that. Something has to be done about that. We need more investigation into this because it is not fair. It is not fair at all. We're seeing everything. And you will tell me now, or you want to charge it and allege a young lady for that? Eh? We're seeing who shoots. We see where the gun, where the fire, the bullets coming out from the gun. And all you want to see somebody else? No. Investigation. We need more investigation to that matter. Thank you.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, there is a saying that when a bandit comes into your house and you kill him, police want to charge your homeowner for killing the bandit. So I would like Rivero to ask the DPP what sort of charges would the police officer face in a matter like this. Now, they say they shoot a man in the back, you will be charged because the man running away from the incident. In a case like this, I could make my assumption based on what I am seeing on the video. Good? In a case like this, run back that video from the beginning. In a case like this, Trinidad and Tobago, look at what took place. Look at what took place. The car bend the corner, run off the road. Police jump out. I want to play back the video slowly. Look at the hands before the bullet hit the car. Look at the hands before the bullet start hitting the car. Trinidad and Tobago, now I'll tell you something. The police did their investigation. File was handed to the DPP. The DPP instructed the Commissioner of Police what to do. The Commissioner of Police instructed his officers what to do. But I want to ask TTPS. I want to ask TTPS. If a bandit has his both hands in the air, would you shoot him to death? Would you? It's sad. Trinidad and Tobago is facing a sad day today. This is what I could see. This is what I could see. But nevertheless, viewers, nevertheless, we leave that in the hands of God. But the girlfriend, I believe she is out of the country, seeking medical attention. And Police, according to police report, she left a month ago and they can't serve her. They can't serve her with the warrant. But what I want to know is what type of charges the officer is going to get when charges are due released. I want to see. I want to see. Trinidad and Tobago, we are going for a short commercial break. Still uptown.
We'll be right back.
Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali.
Welcome back.
So welcome back to Real Talk with Saieed Ali, viewers. Commissioner of Police Alessa Grovero has confirmed that police have issued an Interpol red notice for a fourth suspect as investigation into the murder of acting Corporal Anuska Eversley and the theft of firearm at the San Fernando Municipal Police Post just over a month ago and continuing. He said the multi-agency intelligence-led operation into the April 19th, 2026 killing of Corporal Eversley and a brazen seizure of a large cache of arms and ammunition from the San Fernando Municipal Police Station at Kings Wharf remains ongoing. Listen to this.
Thus far, a large cache of weapons and ammunition was stolen. The multi-agency response, coordinated intelligence-led operation involving homicide, Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, the Special Branch, SSA, SIU, Cybercrime and other divisions, led to the arrest and charging of Mr. Javon Cooper, Kwame Arnold, and Nicholas Ramdas for homicide and other related offenses.
So viewers, the Commissioner noted that measures have been put in place to support the ongoing efforts.
At this time, an Interpol red notice has since been issued for a fourth person in this matter who is believed to have fled the country. Thus far, we have recovered 38 pistols, 4 shotguns, 1 MPX submachine gun, 1 revolver, and over 900 rounds of ammunition. And this was basically recovered in and around the Claxton Bay area.
So viewers, school fights. In the school, out the school. How do we fix that? A video circulating online shows a group of students attacking a male student on Wednesday gone. Although the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is involved in addressing violence in school through a school-oriented policing program, this particular incident took place outside of the school compound. Deputy Commissioner of Police Junior Benjamin stated that his officers visited the school and they are investigating the incident. Now, he urged for a broader approach to tackle problems of school violence. The DCP highlighted that the young man who was the victim of an attack was treated and discharged from hospital. He added that the perpetrators of the attack has been identified. Speaking in the Senate today, Minister of Education Dr. Michael Dowlett confirmed that police are actively investigating the matter. The Shogunas South Secondary School has also launched its internal disciplinary. I'll tell you this now. This incident happened outside of the school compound. But I want you to take into consideration the student is wearing school clothes. School clothes. So my thing is, as long as you have on your school uniform, you will be treated accordingly. Same treatment in the school, same treatment out of the school because of the fact that you have on your school uniform. You're supposed to know better. So I hope now that TDPS or the police who is carrying about this investigation, the school-oriented policing program, I hope Trinidad and Tobago, I hope they said the perpetrators have been identified. This was a severe beating on a student. And I hope that everyone that was involved in this incident is immediately expelled, not suspended, you know, but expelled. I want you to look at that video. Look at this individual kicking. Willfully. Start by the video from the beginning. Look at that. 2, 3 of them willfully. Look at it. Look at it, Trinidad and Tobago. They're willfully massacring not massacring. They're willfully beating the man. Now, everybody would want to blame the driver. But understand what I'm saying. The student was lying down flat down on the road. The driver would have told himself that, you know what? It have nobody in front of me, everybody left. Because the driver cannot see from his bonnet downwards. He couldn't see that. It's only when people around him shouted out, then you notice he stopped. Otherwise, if there wasn't anybody, driver would have driven over the student. But Trinidad and Tobago, I keep asking you all every time we have an incident like this, how do we treat with individuals like these? Are they too young to be punished? I'm asking you, are they too young to be charged for wounding with intent? A criminal offense. Are they too young? Look at that, willfully kicking. Look at it. So them too young to be charged for wounding with intent. How do we deal with them? How do we deal with them? Ask yourself, I always say this every time I highlight school violence, I always ask you, the viewers, if that was your son, what you would have done. Ask yourself that. I'm telling you, me, I'm going to tell you something. You'd have be on your bed. And every time you open your eye and you watch down on your foot, you wouldn't see from your knee go down. I mean, it might sound like I'm inciting violence, but I'm not. I just do spirit work. That's why I just do. And I'm proud to say it because I'm born with that gift. In Moses' days, they used to say eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. When they came after my son, I just do spirit walk, 3 blind, 1 dead. I will always say this to remind the citizen about who I am. That when you cross the line, that was your result on the other side. That was your reward on the other side you got. 3 blind, 1 dead. If that was my son, I'm going to tell you something, in less than 21 days, the mother and father would have want to know what's going on with their son. So how is TTPS going to handle this? Keep in mind, for TTPS, they are too young to be charged for wounding with intent. They're too young. So I want to ask Davish Maraj, who wants to bring the parole bill, how much years them getting? How much years them getting? Wounding with intent is how much? Wounded with intent as one charge. Then you have wounded with intent to do grievous body harm. Ooh, that's a second charge. So how much years adding up to? Wounded with intent, let me say you get 3 years. And then wounded with intent to do grievous body harm. How much that coming up to? How much? So I want to ask now, Davish Maraj, how are you dealing with that? How are you dealing with it? Imagine how the parents feeling right now. Look at it, look at it, look at it, watch. 2, 3 of them. How are you dealing with it? I don't know how that parent's taking it. But I just tell you what I would have done. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. So switching gears to Tobago. Acting Chief Climatologist Kedar Kisoon has confirmed that Trinidad and Tobago is expected to see a drier than normal wet season this year, with fewer hurricanes predicted. However, Trinidad and Tobago, Kisoon said, this country must remain prepared, warning that single storm can still cause major damage. Listen to this.
Any tropical storms forming in the area of interest has the potential to threaten Trinidad and Tobago and the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. This season only needs one tropical storm or hurricane to cause devastation in Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, or any other island for it to be an active season.
So viewers, however, Parliamentarian Secretary in the Ministry of Public Utilities, Shivanan Sam, also said TNT is already experiencing the effect of climate change through increased bushfire and extreme heat.
Across the globe, we are witnessing the increasing frequency and intensity of extreme weather conditions, prolonged heat events, droughts, flooding, and other climate-related challenges that continue to affect food security, water resources, energy systems, and public health. And right here in Trinidad and Tobago, we are seeing these impacts become more visible within our very own communities.
So Ms. Shivana Sam stressed the importance of climate service, noting that they directly impact everyday citizens. So viewers, we need to be very careful. Now remember, if you're living in the countryside, you need to keep your surrounding clean, in your property clean, outside of your property, you might have your wall. At least make sure you have a 5 feet span, making sure there's no bullgrass, bush, tire, that even though a fire do hit a bushfire, your house would actually be safe. Public utilities, we stay in right here. Minister Barry Patarat have stated that the government is taking a closer look at the financial burden Amplia continues to place on TSTT while preparing to launch an investigation into the controversial acquisition of the company. Minister stated that the acquisition continued to burden the state-owned telecommunication company, and the questions remain over how the deal was approved. Listen to this.
First, we have to determine in whose pockets or did anybody's pockets this money went into? Who was the special interest that created a situation where a company valued at just over 20 million was purchased at 277 million? So first we have to get to the bottom of that, because when it was asked of the former administration, both the then Minister of Finance and then Prime Minister claimed that they had no knowledge about it. And therefore we must determine who put TSCT in this situation.
So viewers, Pollard highlighted that an investigation will soon be appointed to examine the circumstances surrounding the purchase. He then stated that the government is also exploring whether some of Amplia's operation and employees can eventually be absorbed into TSCT to avoid joblessness. Listen to this.
I have asked TSCT to start looking at whether or not we can subsume where we have Amplia employees. Should the government take the position that we are going to ask Amplia, that decision has not been taken. I am waiting for the financials and I'm waiting for that investigator to go in to determine what is the status of the company. Because there's a lot of duplication in efforts, and therefore whether we can subsume both into each other and make it work so that we can ensure that persons remain employed, etc.
So we're going to hear more about that, viewers, in the coming days. Now, Central Bank Governor Larry Hawaii have stated that with an increase in non-banking payment service providers, fintech, and virtual asset service, the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago is seeking to ensure adequate monitoring and safeguard. Hawaii noted that payment landscape is evolving with an increase in non-banking payment service providers, fintech and virtual asset service. He said the CBTT hopes to manage risk to consumers with adequate monitoring and safeguardness. Listen to this.
Our current legislative framework, though efficient in the past, is no longer fit for the evolving environment. We need a modern, cohesive framework, one that supports innovation while ensuring safety, fairness, and stability.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, in the modern world today, there are different companies that are setting up financial apps where you can add your credit card to it and you can pay a utilities bill. WASA, Tiantec, TSTT, probably purchase whatever item at a store where you just scan. You know, the more modernization we go into is the more different technology that is being created to service mankind. Now, Assistant Manager of Payment and Financial Market Infrastructure, Mrs. Jeanette Joseph, also gave an overview of the objectives. Listen to this.
It is to promote the safety, soundness, and efficiency of the national payment system, to provide greater legal certainty and protection of users of payment clearing and settlement systems, to implement the risk-based regulatory regime calibrated to the nature, scale, and risk of different payment activities and entities, and also to facilitate e-commerce, encourage cashless payments, and promote financial inclusion.
While payment service providers must treat users' funds as belonging to users at all times, she explained that the central bank will also facilitate a consumer complaint mechanism. So Trinidad and Tobago, if you find the app is not working in your favor, very soon Central Bank is going to set up something where you can voice your complaint. So switching gears, the Minister in the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries, Ernesto Quesar, says the long-awaited reform for Trinidad and Tobago LPG system or the LPG industry are on the horizon. According to media reports last year, after a series of fatal incidents across Trinidad and Tobago involving LPG gas tanks, the Ministry of Energy undertook a review and update LPG regulations that were originally prepared years ago but never implemented. Minister Kesar stated that those reforms are now being aggressively pursued. Mr. Minister.
There's a particular type of reform that has been before the ministry for 10 years. And through the good work of our permanent secretaries, PS Tulsi and PS Das, we have dusted them out. And we are now aggressively pursuing them to get to the cabinet. So hopefully in the upcoming couple of months, you will see that.
Also viewers, the minister praised the pioneer in the sector while emphasizing LPG's continued importance to household and small business across the country. Listen to the minister.
It's about the mother preparing meals for her family. It is about the small parlor owner trying to make an honest living. It is about the doubles vendor, the caterers, the rural household, the small business operator. And it must be recognized for that decades, LPG has quietly powered the everyday life of Trinidad and Tobago.
So viewers, remember not too long ago, we had in households and business place, this gas tank were leaking and people were afraid. A lot of, I believe a few houses burned down because of this. Probably one of damages to maybe one or two individuals when they lit their stoves and things like that, houses burned down. Now, the minister is also saying that there's a change in the system coming. Also, the president of the Liquefied Petroleum Gas Dealers Association, Imtiaz Rahman, said his members stand ready to work with the government. Listen to this.
Our local and international LPG experience is available to help craft a plan of evolution for the industry as the government seeks to create the structure of our important industry into its next phase of development.
So, Tobago, I just want to read back something for you all, and I want you all to ask yourself, why the upgrade was kept back? Now, listen to this. According to reports, last year, after several or a series of fatal incidents across Trinidad and Tobago involving LPG gas tank, the Ministry of Energy undertook to review and update LPG regulations. Now, the ministry is updating their LPG regulations. But listen to this. That were originally prepared years ago but never implemented. So I ask myself, the Ministry of Energy is updating their LPG regulation. But the sad part about this, viewers, is that this was originally prepared years ago but never implemented. So what were they waiting on? I ask myself this question. What were they waiting on? If the energy sector comes forward with a plan, why wait years to implement it? Why? This I ask myself. And it's the same thing now, I would say, is that we are backward and not going forward. That is the problem. Tobago, we have come to the end of our program tonight. But nevertheless, viewers, we'll be right back here another night for another live Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Until then, good night.